Shalom, shalom, shalom. Israel, shalom, class.
Shalom.
All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh for another Sabbath, another day of laboring, another day of enduring, right? Another day of getting your spirit intact. Yeah, you can close the door, Elder. Right? As we always do, we're going to start with Acts chapter 18 and verse 4. Right?
This is the book of Acts, chapter 18 and verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, so this is another Sabbath service to persuade Israel who knows that the Israel to endure, to continue in the commandments, continue in the faith, the brotherly love, the charity, all things that are beautified and that magnify the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And to those just finding out that the Israel to come back to serving our God, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right, in truth and sincerity, searching the scriptures daily and diligently, being at the church of Berea, and see if the words that were spoken to you be true or not. Right? And the only way you can do that is through Philippians 4:13.
Book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 13.
Right?
I can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushua, who strengthened me.
Right? So through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're able to get a proper understanding, cast down false doctrine, stand 10 toes down for the words of the Lord. Right? So today's class, right, we got the grand opening in Houston. Right? All praise to the Most High. Right? Those brothers in Houston, they labored, they did their quizzes, right? Their finals, right? They looked very mighty and seasoned out there yesterday, man. Lord willing, through the spirit, they continue and endure and go even harder today, man. Right? So as y'all can see on this lesson, it's called How Can I Labor? Right? How do I labor? Right? Because labor isn't just going out on the highways and byways. There's way more to labor than just going on the highways and byways, right? Let's go to Sirach 43 and verse 30, right? We call this the Mathamika precept, right? Sirach 43 and 30.
Book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can.
Right, so when you're glorifying the Lord in your works, you got to exalt him as much as you can, right? You don't half-ass glorifying the Lord, right? You don't walk slowly through a crosswalk and you see speeding cars coming through. You do it in haste. How much more the Lord? How much more can you glorify the Lord, right?
For even yet will he far exceed.
He's going to far exceed the expectations, right? There's no reason why any of us should be in this truth, but through the mercy of the Lord.
That's right.
Right? It's only through the mercy of the Lord you're able to understand the scriptures. Because before you open the Bible up, it was a whole puzzle and maze that you were trying to understand.
That's
right? Keep going.
And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength.
So you got to put forth all your strength when you're exalting the Lord. Right? So that means once you're laboring, once you're getting yourself in order, you're being that example, you got to put forth all your strength, right? Because you're not just doing it for yourself, right? You represent three things in this truth, right? First and foremost, you represent Yahweh Shem Yahushua, how you conduct yourself, right? You say that you're in the truth, you shouldn't walk and be as one that's in the world, right? You should magnify the Lord's name in your walk, right? The second thing you represent is all Israel, right? I represent this brother Azariah when I go out in my day-to-day life. Where I can't be a nigga in the streets, so I'm gonna put a bad name on my brothers, right? And the third, you represent your congregation that you may be in, right? Because you're an example. You're growing up in the world. What they used to say, you're guilty by association, right? Or I don't want you hanging out with him because he hang out with so and so, right? You got to think about that 10 times more once you're in this truth, right? There's more on that, King.
And be not weary. For ye can never go far enough.
You can never go far enough exhorting the Lord. Right? So we're going to show ways. You got to preach that again?
This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 28. It said, For as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so Ben returned, seek him 10 times more. So it was our mind to go far away, man. We went to other gods, searching all gods of Babylon, Muslim. We doing everything. Our minds wasn't on the Lord. You know, now that Most High put his spirit upon us and have us, and he woke us up. Now we gotta go back and we gotta seek him 10 times more. We gotta pray 10 times more. We gotta fast 10 times more. Right? We gotta study 10 times more. knowing this truth is a miracle, man. Right? It wasn't just given to you just because you woke up. Right? It was given to you because the Most High put it in you. So knowing this, we gotta return to the Lord 10 times more.
That's right.
Come. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. Right? 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Because now it comes to self-examination. That's a part of laboring right there. Right? Self-examination. Because now you're the next example to somebody else. Right? How somebody views you is how they should look at all Israelites. Right? So you got to be that example. Right? Like the Lord said, we that light that's set upon the hill. That candlestick that's set upon the hill, you don't put it under a bushel. You put it so everybody can see it. Right? So you have to be that candlestick that's out and showing what it truly means to be in the truth. Right? Being that perfect example of an Israelite. Right?
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you.
Right, so you have to examine yourself to see if the Lord is truly within you. Right, last night we went into the fruits of the Spirit: love, gentleness, peace, meekness, temperance, long suffering. You got to see if the Lord is truly dwelling if you showing the fruits of the Spirit, right? And if the Lord is with you, you're going to be showing the fruits of the Spirit, man. You're going to be that tree planted by the rivers in Lebanon, man. By the trees planted by the waters in Lebanon, man. Right? You're going to be growing, right? More leaves than the next tree, more fruits than the next tree, right? That's Psalms 92, man. That's Sabbath day psalm, man. Brothers should be reading that every Sabbath day. That's mighty, man. You're going to be like that tree planted by water, right? Growing more and more and more, because this is the living water. Right, go ahead and keep going, okay?
Except ye be reprobates.
Except ye be reprobates, right? Void of the judgment that's coming for breaking the commandments.
That's right.
Right? But what?
But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
Right, you should know that we're not reprobates because we're walking in the spirit of Yahushua. Right, showing the true labor of the Lord. Right, because it's not just men who's doing the laboring, it's children and women laboring too. Right? And we're going to show women laboring in the truth, because women say, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to help. Right? Oh, the men got it. No, everybody has a portion in this lot of building the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Right? Men are going to be on the forefront, but the women have a strong portion as well. They got a strong lot as well. Shalom, not going.
Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushua Barakatah.
Shalom again.
Yahweh Shema Barakatah. Right? So let's go to Matthew 22. We're going to start at verse 36, man. Right? We're going to show you another form of labor, man. We're going to touch on all these forms of laboring, man. Right? So can't nobody say, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can put my brick in for the truth. Right now, we're going to say that's a lie, because the Lord showed countless examples of men laboring. Right? Countless examples of women laboring. Right? Matthew 22 and verse 36. Right?
This is the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 36.
Right.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love thy Lord, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind.
Right. So that's the greatest commandment of them all.
That's right.
Right. You got to love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul. Right.
This is the first and great commandment.
Right.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You got to love your neighbor as yourself. Right. And how do you love your neighbor as yourself? You labor. Right. You put forth that work to show that you love your neighbor. Let me get Sirach 33 and 17. Right. Sirach 33 and 17. That's how you show that you labor, to get the understanding to give to those who don't have it. Right? You work hard so that if somebody falls on hard times, you're able to lend that helping hand to get them up.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 17.
Right.
Consider that I labored not for myself only.
Right. So we don't labor just for ourselves. Right. We don't do this work just for the gratification of Amos. So I can go at home and look at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, I was out there. But what?
But for all them that seek learning.
We do it for all those who seek Yahweh Shem Yahushua. For all those who have a contrite spirit and a broken heart. Right? We're here to mend them, man. Right? We're that spiritual apothecary, man. Giving them that sweet savior that they need to smell. right? We're giving them what they need to be restored to whole, man. That 2 Corinthians 2:15, man. That sweet Savior that is beautiful unto the Lord, right? We're not walking around laboring saying, well, you got money to get this breakdown? Well, brother, then you're going to be ass out. You're not going to know what it means to serve the Lord. No, we're doing this freely because we received it freely.
That's right.
That's your form of laboring, man.
That's right.
Posting on Instagram, posting on Twitter, making lives, that's laboring, man. That takes time. That takes effort, right? It takes studying, right? You had something knock on? Bro, let me see. Right, it takes studying, right? You had something knock on? I think you're on mute, King.
Okay, Salaki.
Okay.
I want to go to Sirach chapter 7-15.
Sirach 7:15.
Yeah, I'll read it. I'm already here. It reads, hate not labor's work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. Right? So, brothers, when you come into this truth, or even sisters, you're commanded to love this work, man. It should be joyous to you, for you men to go out on the highways and byways. You should be excited to build up your household. You should be excited to make flyers. Women should be excited and joyous to serve their husbands. They should be joyous to make garments, bring food, take care of the children. All these things you should love, man. When the Lord says hate not, he means love labor's work. Like the Lord says, all that love me, hate it not. Right? So the Lord says you're commanded to make this thing your number one joy in these last days. Not sports, not folly, not celebrities, not the world, not getting drunk, not the flesh, but you love doing this work, man. And we get excited to do the work, man. Right? The brothers, they want to get on the Sabbath service, man. These brothers just woke up. You know, so we got to do this work to get the crust out their eyes. They're getting up and they hopping on the live, man. So brothers have to enjoy doing this work, right? Let me get another precept real quick in Nehemiah 8. Right? Let's go to real quick. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 8. And we can start at verse 10. I'll start at 9. This Nehemiah chapter 8 and 9. And Nehemiah, which is the Tershatha, right, which is the governor, and Ezra the priest, the scribe, and the Levites that taught the people, said unto all the people, this day is holy unto the Lord your God. Mourn not, nor weep, for all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto our Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of Yahweh is your strength. See that? So the joy of Yahweh is your strength. That's where you get your power from being excited and from loving to do the work, man. And one more point, when you got a so-called worldly job, when you love, they say that in the world, I love what I do. Right? They say you got to get a career that you love. Right? You'll never leave it. You understand? You'll prosper more into something that you love. When you're working at these jobs and you really don't like it, you hate going in and you showing up late all the time, ain't gonna like it, you're gonna get fired, man. Or they're gonna let you go. When they're letting go work, they're still gonna let you go because they know that you're not really in this thing. You're always late. You take extra long breaks. You're always on on the phone. But when you see that you come in early, you're excited to do that work. You stand up late in the office when everybody's going home for happy hour. You still crunching the numbers, but you don't get that promotion, right? So you got to understand that this work should be your joy. And not only should it be your joy, it's your strength. You know? That's all I have.
Good.
Can you repeat that? Can you go to the book Sirach, chapter 20 and 30? Right. Our job, because Most High gives us wisdom, so our job is to show this wisdom to the world, man, especially to our people, man. Right? Our job is to be that light, like Amos said, right? According to the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter.
Book of
Sirach 20 and 30.
Chapter 20 and verse 30. Wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up. What profit is in them both?
So what profit a man if he's sitting there holding all the wisdom that the Most High gave him? Right? If a man know that he's Israel and it's his job to go out there and teach the commandments, right. What profit a man if he don't do it? You know, what profit a man to hold back the wisdom, knowledge, understanding the Most High gave it to him, and not go teach his neighbor? Is that really loving your neighbor? You know, you gotta. When you get this wisdom, you gotta teach it. You gotta go out to the highways and byways. You gotta continue to go out there and be the light of the world. You know,
Better is he that hideth his folly than a man that hideth his wisdom.
so it's better to hide a folly saying, you know, being foolish in this world than to a man to hide his wisdom. That's very true.
To let me back off of that, let's go to Matthew chapter 25, and we can go to verse 19. We start at 19. When you get down, we're gonna read about the men who had the talents and what they did with it, and that one wicked servant and what he did. Right?
Book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 19.
Right?
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them.
Right? So Yahweh Shah is coming back. He's gonna look every single man eye to eye and see what they did with that talent that he gave them. Right?
And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents.
Right? So the man who had 5 talents, he came back and doubled that money. Right?
Saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more.
Right? This is an investment, man. The Lord planted you so you can bring forth more fruit, so you can bring forth more Israelites into this truth. Right? Each man in here has a measure of understanding that the next man outside of these walls don't understand. Right? So your job is to bring more people into this truth. Right?
His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant.
Right?
Thou hast been faithful over a few things.
Right? You've been faithful over a few things. Now what?
I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them.
Right? It's investments, man.
Sure.
Like you don't put your money in stocks expecting to lose, man. You expect it to bring forth more. Right?
That's right.
So everybody in here should be bringing forth more brothers into this truth. Every sister in here should be bringing forth more sisters into the truth. Right? Not by just breaking down the scriptures, but by actions.
That's right.
And you're not the same person you used to be, man. You shining more.
That's right.
Right? You real bright.
That's right.
Right? That's how everybody should be. Right? Go ahead, keep going.
His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
Right?
Then he which had received the 1 talent.
Right? This was what Azariah was speaking about. Hiding that talent that you had. Hiding that wisdom that you had. Right?
That's right. Came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man.
Right? That's an excuse. That's an excuse, man. Nobody wants to hear excuses.
That's right.
Right? Excuses sound good to those who make it. Right? You sit there and meditate. Man, I'm gonna tell them this. This is why I can't do it, man. They're gonna have to believe this. Right? I knew you was a hard man, Lord.
Reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth.
So you kept that knowledge you had and you put it within you. Right? You didn't wear your fringes. You shaved your beard. You only had the 5 o'clock shadow on the Sabbath. Right? You wasn't keeping the new moons. You wasn't keeping high holy days. Right? You hated your brother. Right. You was backbiting. Had 1 foot in the world, 1 foot in the truth.
That's right. Lo, there thou hast found that is thine.
So the knowledge that the Lord gave you, only got Deuteronomy 28:68. Now you're bringing it back into the Lord. Here, Lord, here's Deuteronomy 28:68. Right?
Keep on.
Come.
His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I have not strawed.
So the Lord called him a wicked and slothful servant, man. All of us are servants of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. That's why we're going into how to labor, man. Right? Don't be called that wicked and slothful servant. Because once the Lord calls you that, what's next? Get away from me, you worker of iniquity. You're going to be cast into other darkness, man. You're going to have a missile waiting for you. The Lord might slice you up himself. You might get a strange death, right? A bomb go off 20 miles away, the glass shatter and cut you in half. Right? Those strange and calamitous deaths that fall upon those wicked servants, man. Right? So let's go to anybody have anything before we kept going? Go, you got it. You on mute still.
Acts chapter 20 and verse 34. Right? I'm reading 34 and 35. This Acts
Jonah
chapter,
said he got it.
you said what?
Jonah said he got it.
Okay, all right, all praises.
Book of Acts, chapter 20, and verse 34.
Go.
And verse 34. Yea, ye yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities, and to them that were with me.
So Paul was laboring. He said, these hands, he was talking about his hands. He wasn't pointing at another man's hands. He said, these hands have ministered unto me and my necessities. When you read the verse before that, King Baba Gashar.
The verse before?
Khan 33.
Khan. I have coveted no man's silver or gold or apparel.
Meaning I work to get what I have, man. I'm laboring, man. I didn't take or covet any man's gold or silver or apparel. Right, read on.
Yea, ye yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities, and to them that were with me.
So you have to minister to get your necessities. Meaning you have to work to gain knowledge. You have to work to get wisdom. You have to work for the carnal things that you need to take care of you and your household, man. You can't look at another man's hands and rely on him to be able to give you the things that you need for your salvation. You got to work with your own hands, man. I can tell you in 1 Corinthians 9, working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless it. Being defamed, we entreat. Right, go on.
I have shewed you all things.
No, I said I kept some things to myself.
Salaki?
He said repeat it.
Oh, I have shewed you all things.
No, just two things.
I have shewed you all things.
So it's our job. Anything the Most High gave us, we have to labor and give that to our people. I have showed you all things, right?
How that so laboring ye ought to support the weak.
See that? How that laboring, we ought to support the weak, right? So our people are weak, man. The Lord said in Romans chapter 15 and 1 on down, he that is strong ought to bear the infirmities of him that are weak, right? So our brothers who don't have understanding, who don't have any knowledge, who don't know their nationality, you have women that are coming out of the world, men that coming out the streets. We have to labor, not really to support ourselves, but also more importantly, to support the weak, man. Right, go on.
And to remember the words of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
See that? It's more blessed to give than to receive. Here you are praying for all this wisdom, all this knowledge and understanding. You're not doing a damn thing with it, man. Right? It's more blessed to give than to receive. Right? You're supposed to be giving all of the knowledge, all of the understanding, and feeding the sheep. And here you are praying for all of these things, but you're so focused on praying for things instead of giving things, man. That's not what this thing is about, man. It's not just about heaping up stuff. It's about giving. You understand? And you give freely. You understand? The Lord said, as freely as you have received, freely give. So you brothers that are laboring, you're laboring to give it freely. Things for your own hands and for those that are weak. Right? That's all I had. Slothfulness. And Gabar got a quick precept.
All right. Let's go to the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 5 now. It was spread, right? Because we gotta understand these things in the last days, man. All right, let's bring that up. 1 Thessalonians 2 and 5. Whoever got it.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 5. For neither at any time use we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness. Yahweh is witness.
Right. So nor at any time, right? Our brothers are supposed to be going out on the highways and byways, man. Like it's a damn a Christian church, man. Right? Like your so-called Christian pastor, man. Right? Using flattering words, right? Bending the branch, right? And saying soothsayers and smooth words, man, right? To overthrow the people, man, right? And to cause a confusion and envy and strife, man, and vanity, man. Right? Read on.
Nor of men sought we glory,
Nor what?
neither of you. Keep going.
Nor what?
So,
Read it
verse
again.
6. Nor of men sought we glory.
Right. Nor of men so we glory, man. Right? We don't glorify and building off the works, right, of other men, man. You gotta build up these things through your own hands, man. Right? You can't expect, right, all the work, right, a mighty damn a mansion or building or company, man. Right? Like you have a so-called a Fortune 500 companies, man. They didn't wake up, right, and have all these billions and trillions of dollars, man. You got to put in work and put in labor, man. Right? Read on.
Neither of you nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Hamashiach.
Right, and all brothers must endure this burden, man. Right, and lay upon, right, this heavy yoke, man. Right, because Hamashiach Yahushua tells you in the book of 1 Corinthians, right, 6 and verse 20, man, that ye are bought with the price, man. Right, read on.
But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children.
Right, man, and a nurse, right, doesn't just kind of do what they want to do, right, or supposedly, man, right. A nurse, right, it goes out and heals the sick, right, heals the poor, right, the lame, right, the beat, the trodden down, it abused, man, right, and who is more them abused, right, a trodden down, right, and then bugged out, it is Israel, man, right. So we must go out and do this work with the more labor, right, the more wisdom and understanding that we increase in these last days, man. We must be a nurse to all of our people, man. Because our people are sick and bugged out in the mind, man. Right, read on.
So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you,
right,
not the gospel of Yahweh only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us.
Right, man. And that's what it's about, man. Right, that nationhood, man. Right, not just being about yourself in this thing, man. Right, because the same way, right, how the Lord brought us into captivity as a whole entire nation of people, man. Right, that the same way that the Lord he's going to deliver us as a nation, man. Right, so you got to be a daily affectionate and have a desire, man. Right. I'm gonna read that again. It says, so being affectionately desirous of you, man. You gotta have a deep, a sincere, a desire to want to go out, do the work, and heal your people, man. So that you can hurry up and seal the hopeful elect, and we can hurry up and get the hell up out of here, man. Having a more unity camps, man. Having more nationwide fast, man. Coming together, man. Right, to seal the hopeful elect and to heal our people, man. Right, read on.
For ye remember, brethren, our labor and travail.
It said our labor and travail, man. Right, man, you gotta put the work in, man. And go through the tribulations and the chastisement of the Lord, man. Right, labor and travail, read on.
Because we would not be chargeable unto any of you, we preach unto you the gospel of Yahweh.
Right, Con, right, and also it said for laboring day and night, man, right? Not just laboring, right, on the Sabbath day, man, right? Not just laboring when you feel like it, man, right? Not just laboring doing one video per week, right? You got some brothers who do one damn video every damn 3 months, man, right? You gotta labor day and night for the settlement of the hopeful elect, man. So that Israel, we can hurry up and get the hell up out of here, man. Right? Last precept, Sirach 37 and verse 11. Sirach 37 and verse number 11.
Book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 11.
Right?
Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. neither with a coward in matters of war,
Right?
nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work,
Nor what?
nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work.
That'll be a delay. Nor what, King? Nor with the slothful for what?
Salakia, nor with the slothful for any work,
Right?
nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work,
Right? We don't?
nor with an idle servant of much business.
Right, man. And we are the servants of the Lord, man. Right? So men, we can't be idle, man. Right? These are a list of men and women to avoid, man. You can't be right saying that I'm an Israelite and Khan. You kind of coming around, kind of shaking the hand. I can't, man. But then 6 days a week, man. You damn slothful, man. You lazy. You been idle. You ain't reading. You ain't studying. You ain't praying. You ain't fasting. You ain't watching no videos. You ain't doing no exhortation, no counsel, no edification. No nothing, man. But on damn Friday night, right till Saturday evening, man. You a damn super duper Israelite, man. You going hard, man. Right? You putting on the front and kind of faking it, man. And the Lord is sifting a lot of these men and women out in these last days who's been slothful in business, right, and being idle in the work and not putting in a brick to help build up the spiritual temple. And with that, come, shalom.
I'm going to look a book. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 25. Proverbs 21. Like the brother was saying, man, you gotta do this work, man. Because doing this work, you when you go out there in the highways and byways and you teach hopefully lack, you're doing a mighty work to the Lord, right? Read that.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor.
Yeah, because you going out there, you saving a life. You say, and you washing away the sins of your own self that you committed, according to James 5 and 20. Right? So you going out there, you saving somebody else's life, you washing away the sins of your life. But it said, read that the last one again, for his hands.
Salakia, for his hands refuse to labor.
For a slothful man, his hands gonna refuse to labor. Right? He gonna always have an excuse. He's always like, oh man, I got caught up in something. I couldn't go to camp today. I couldn't read today. I couldn't break down lessons today. There's always going to be an excuse because he's being slothful. And the Most High said he knows the slothful man, right? He knows he said, look, the eyes of the Lord 10 times brighter than the sun, right? And he knows all the ways of men. He knows your heart. So the slothful man is going to kill himself because his hand refused to labor.
Let's go to Acts chapter 9. Oh, you got a precept? Well, you got it, King.
I got Matthew chapter 10, verse 32. It says, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whoso shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before the Father which is in heaven. So it's important to always let your light shine amongst everybody in the world around you, because the Lord's gonna have you shine in front of the Most High, right? That's your advocate. That's your redeemer. That's the one who's going to vouch for you on the day of judgment. It's because you're letting your light shine and you're not hiding the Lord. You're not hiding the commandments of the Lord and keeping it in for yourself.
Come. So, like to let me back off that, Colossians 4 and 5, right? Always want to bring that out when somebody brings that out, man. You got to be that example, right? That's the key form of laboring, being an example to your people, right? How King David and get Sirach 10 and 1 as well. Right, get Sirach 10 and 1 first, for sure. Like how King David had Israel, right? He was being that example of being a leader, right? That's how men should be in their households, amongst their brethren, out on the highways and byways, at work, right? Following in the steps of the righteous kings, of the righteous leaders of Israel, right?
Book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Right, so a wise judge is going to instruct his people the right way into salvation. Right, instruct the right people to reprove them of their errors. Right, and that's we giving you countless forms of laboring. Right, if somebody is going off, you'd be a fool to not reprove them. Right, you'd hate your brother to not reprove them and allow them to continue in their folly and their sins. Right, the Lord is like the brother said, the Lord is witnessing all this. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He sees you reprove the next brother, tell him to get in line. The next sister, tell her to get in line. Right, you just saved your own soul. Right, you covered a multitude of sins because you converted a sinner away from his errors. Right, let's go to Colossians 4 and verse 5.
Book of Colossians, chapter 4 and verse 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without.
Right, so you got to continue to walk in wisdom, man. Right, wisdom is your mother, man. Wisdom is the beautiful thing that all men and women should desire. Right, you got to continue to walk in that aspect. Right, a beautiful woman isn't gonna want to walk with a broke bum. Right, he got a tattered shirt on. Right, beard half groomed on one side, the other half look crazy. Right, never keep his hair done. Not just look like a whole bum. Wisdom gonna depart. Right, so you gotta walk in wisdom towards them that are without. That comely, beautiful scent that only the saints are gonna want to smell. Right, not the 2/3. You're only trying to impress the saints and Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Those who want to come back to serving the Lord.
That's right. Redeeming the time. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt.
Right, let your speech be seasoned. And what's that seasoning? The scriptures. Right, you should be able to drop a precept in the conversation to let brothers know or sisters know how to reprove themselves. Right, we got a sisters chat that goes on Thursdays. Right, sisters exhorting one another to do good works. Right, let's go to Acts chapter 9 and verse 36. Right, to see a sister who was doing good work. You got it, King. You on mute, sir.
No, go ahead. I got a precept after you.
Come. Acts chapter 9 and verse 36.
Book of Acts, chapter 9 and verse 36. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha.
Right, it was a sister. She was a disciple. Right, her name was Tabitha, also what?
Which by interpretation is called Dorcas.
Right.
This woman was full of good works.
She was full of good works. Right, so don't ever listen to a camp or a brother who say women not in the truth. Right, don't ever listen to that folly, man. Right, women help sustain the saints. Right,
That's right.
that goes into what's that? 1 Corinthians 9 and 11. Right, you minister in spiritual things, they're gonna restore you with carnal things. Right, whether it be sweaters when it gets cold, water when it's hot, food when your belly growling. Right, lotion if you ask. You don't. The women works be countless, man. Right, keep going, King.
This Salakia and alms deeds which she did.
Alms deeds. She did a great amount of work. Right.
And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died.
Right.
Whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber, and for as much as Lydia, Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there. They sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them.
Right, when she passed, everybody was mourning, man. That's how great her works were. Right, they sent men to go. They said, "Look, don't wait, don't stop, don't get no water for your horses, your mules. Keep going. Go get this man." Right.
Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping.
They were all weeping because his sister died, man. Right? They was probably like, look at the alms she was doing. Look how she was helping the saints in Joppa. Look how she was ministering and laboring for the Lord. Right? You don't think she wasn't doing counsel for sisters? You don't think she wasn't bringing food for the widows, right, for the fatherless?
And shewing the coats and garments which Dorcas made, while she was with them.
She made coats, garments, right? It gets cold in the wintertime, man. This is how sisters can labor, right? Get coats, garments, right? Hand warmers, right? Make sure brothers may have hot chocolate if it gets cold,
That's
right? Listening to sisters when they're going through stuff, man, because sisters go through stuff all the time too.
That's right.
Right? These are ways that sisters can labor, man. No sister should be like, well, y'all got this, I'm gonna do what I want to do. No, everybody should put a helping hand into this labor, man, into building the nation of Israel, man. That's what we all should desire. Right? Provoking one another to good works. Right? Take Tabitha, for example, man. She made garments by hand. Making garments by hand isn't a short process, man. That takes time. You get pricked with the needle. Your thimble may fall apart. You may have sewed it the wrong way. You got to go and backtrack, right? So you got to take these righteous examples of these sisters to see how they labored. And sisters, you got to look upon this and ask yourself, do I go as hard as my foremothers? Am I laboring as Mary Magdalene and the other sisters who watched afar off while the Lord was walking with his cross? Right, we'll bring that out next. You got to knock on.
Let's go to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2. Salaki. Let's go to first. Hey, Salaki. Doing Sabbath service. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and 10. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and 10. Salaki. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and 10.
1 Timothy 5 and 10. Come on. 1 Timothy 5 and 10.
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5 and verse 10. Well reported for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work.
So these are certain women that the apostles, they had a registry, for lack of better terms, of widows who were allowed to be taken care of in the church. You couldn't just bring in any women in the church. They had to have certain qualifications, right? These women, read it again, 1 Timothy 5 and 10.
Well reported for good works.
Well reported, meaning she has to have a reputation for doing good works. Like the brother said, you had the woman, Tabitha, making garments for these brothers, man. They're traveling by sea, that they may be shipwrecked, they're dealing with the harsh winters. So you have women making garments, you have women that were lodging strangers. The apostles, they couldn't check into a hotel, man. There was no Marriott hotel or Holiday Inn for the apostle Paul and Barnabas, right? And Luke and Silas, Silvanus, Timotheus, and Titus, when they were traveling, they were destitute, right? They had no certain dwelling place, as it is written in 1 Corinthians chapter 4. So these women lodged them in. They fed them, they took care of them, and there were women communicating, okay, the apostles, they're going to be in Derbe, all right, then they're going to be in Lystra, then they're going to be in Iconium. When Apostle Paul comes, make sure you got this ready, and that ready. So the women did a lot of work behind the scenes, right? It says, lodge strangers, and she have washed the saints' feet. And that's a heavy work right there, man. That equivalent to that now is, a man, he may be traveling, the woman, look, here's some new cat boots. Here's some cat boots, here's some heating pads for the feet in the wintertime. Look, I know I saved up some extra money for the body. Here's some cat boots. All right? That's the equivalent now of washing the saints' feet, man, because, they were traveling in the dirty, filthy roads and the sandals. So the women would actually literally wash these men's feet. They would literally do that. Women wouldn't do that now. And your own women would barely do that, man. Ask a woman to wash it, nigga, no, you wash my feet. Right? Or these women ain't washing up their damn feet today. They're not even there. You ask them to make a sandwich, it's your turn to make a sandwich. Your hands ain't broke. In the ancient world, they was on their damn bottom getting soap, getting water, and scrubbing all them calluses and washing their feet and then feeding them and taking care of them. Because these men was doing the work of the Most High. And the women, they dedicate their life to serving the men of the Most High, to making sure these men are taken care of. Because, like the brother was saying, these women can't go out in the highways and byways and drop 20,000 precepts and go deep into the prophecies. That's not their lot. That's not their role in this thing. Understanding your role, right? Ask yourself, what can you do for the team? Right? In any team, you got guys that deal with you got the team manager. He'll watch the jerseys. You understand? There's that they had that basketball so-called documentary, Last Chance U. And you got the guy, he just sweeps the court all day, man. Before the court is even played on for basketball, the guy got to come and clean the court. Then you got the guy, he got to wash the team jerseys and put them up in the locker room. Right? Then you got the guy who sets up the game film. All of that stuff is beneficial for the team. Just because you're not the point guard, pushing it like magic, dropping 30 assists and 30 points, doesn't mean that your role doesn't matter. You got guys on the bench. One more quick point, King.
Sure.
You got guys on the bench. All they do is hype up the team. Them last four nasty dudes on the end of the bench who never get no play time. All they do, they wear their warm-ups all day. All they do is hype up the guys on the court. Right? You got it, King.
God. Brothers don't see the work that they do in practice, man. That man that rides the bench, right? How hard he's probably guarding the star player in practice, man. He's probably pinching him, elbowing him, right? Mushing him in his face when he's shooting. Like when you got to get ready to play Lamar Jackson in football, man. They got that one dude who's fast as hell. Yep. He's scrambling around in the backfield at practice so you can figure out what you do, man. Right? Everybody plays a pivotal part. Right, I got you. Let me get 1 Corinthians.
Oh, hey, it was more on that, King.
Oh, it's more on that, Slothful.
Yeah, and I have one more after that.
God.
One more after that.
If she have brought up children,
right? If she have
lodged strangers,
if she have washed the saints' feet, it says if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have followed, or if she have diligently followed every good work. So you got to raise up your children in this thing, and your children should know the commandments, man. Right? Your sons and daughters should be running around. All they do is watch damn TV, you know, and they go out and hang out with their friends, man, of the world. You're not teaching your children the commandments. They don't know how to pray. They don't. The brother was just going into it earlier. He got his seed. They say amen at the end of the prayers, and that's less than 3 years old, man. So you have to have fathers and mothers to guide up the children. A lot of these men was out doing the work, you know, and they have to kind of bear that burden. So it says raise up children, relieve the afflicted. That could be financial. You understand? That could be taking care of them, like the brother said, garments, food, right? It reads, if she have diligently followed every good work. And when you're diligent, you're consistent, and you labor to get it done. It's I believe the definition is a painstaking endeavor to accomplish a task. So there's pain behind it. It's consistency. And you have to have discipline if you're going to be a diligent woman in this truth. One more real quick, Romans 16 and 1. Right? Just to allow me back to the brother was saying, women can labor in this thing. Right? Romans chapter 16 and 1.
Book of Romans chapter 16 and verse 1. I commend you, Salakia, I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the church, which is at Cenchrea.
Right. So you have women in the church, right? Women in the congregation. Go on.
That ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you. For she have been a succorer of many, and of myself also.
The Lord said through the Apostle Paul, whatever this woman need, hey, look, don't ask no questions. Do it for her. You know how much of a reputation you have to have in the sight of the apostles for a woman to be given this honor? It says that you receive her in the Lord as becoming saints. Or a lot of men, they receive women as just something to pop. That's just something I just deal with. I'll marry her or whatever. No, the Lord said receive her as becoming saints, and that ye assist her and whatsoever business she hath need of you. So, hey, she wasn't just a low-level woman out there. She wasn't just out there just, might have made one garment or two. There's no detail of her works, man, of the magnitude of her works. But we know it had to be something completely above what these other women was doing. For him to tell the apostles and disciples, assist this woman, whatever she asks you, do it. It says, for she has been a succor. The word succor means a helper. and aid and assist her. Whatever she was doing, she might have held. Paul might have been on the run. She might have held, put a hiding spot for Paul, like Rahab the harlot. Right? Paul might have been starving. Epaphroditus might have been sick. She might have been making some herbs, getting some herbs together for the brotherhood. She might have been getting fresh sandals made, writing letters with Tabitha, getting in contact, making sure that these men can get their garments, making sure the letters were sent out. Right? Read on, King. Is one more on that, or two more.
Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yeah, Priscilla and Aquila is a husband and a wife. They rode together and they were doing the work of the Most High. They always mentioned together, Priscilla and Aquila. Go on.
Who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles.
All the churches are giving thanks for Priscilla, for Aquila, for Phoebe. That's thousands of men. That's Corinth, that's Thessalonica, that's Colossus, that's Philippi, that's in Rome, that's in Galatia, Bithynia, Cappadocia. Everybody knew about the righteous works of Priscilla, Aquila, which is a husband and a wife, and also Phoebe. All of the churches gave thanks, not just three guys. Everybody knew about their works. Go on. And it's like it says they laid down their neck. Imagine literally laying down your neck for another man. These women laid down their neck for the apostles. Right, go on.
Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Epanetus, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Yahushua.
Right.
Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
Read that again.
Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us. So you got Mary doing much labor, not a little bit, not the bare minimum, not just 2 times out the day, much labor. Right? You got Mary, you got Phoebe, you have all of these righteous widows. You have many women doing righteous works in this thing. You got it, King.
God. Let's go to Colossians 4 and 15. And before that, go to 1 Corinthians 4 and 12. So like I know you have 1 Corinthians 4 and 12. Right?
Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 4, and verse 12. And labor, working with our own hands, being revived, we bless, being persecuted, we suffer it.
Right? So you got to labor with your hands, man. You got to put in that work, man. Making sandwiches for sisters, bringing water, right? Holding babies if they got to while they screaming, right? That's labor right there, right? Brothers always be so quick. Oh, my wife, she got a heavy yoke. Let me just go ahead and just let her do what she got to do, and I'm gonna just go do my thing. No, man. Your wife is laboring as you are, man. Right? Everybody should be as a bishop, right? Try to have that office because those are good works that come behind it. So your wife should follow suit, right? Your sister, your daughter, your cousin, all those in the truth. The sisters around you should follow suit like that, right? So you should be working with your hands, right? Laboring, not just men, but women as well, right? And if you don't have a building to congregate in, and you and your wife have a house, have church in your house, right? Go to Colossians 4:15, right? Like Priscilla and Aquila's, man. That's a lot of work right there to have church in your house, man. People come in, they might have dirty feet. Now you got to mop after that. People may be hungry, right? Right? Somebody's stomach may hurt. They might clog up your toilet. That's a lot of work, man. Ain't no telling what can happen. You got it, kid.
Quick point. Hey, before the school, we used to have to do that, man.
God.
We had the church in
Yeah, I remember.
Sometimes we'll do it at my crib. You know what I'm saying? So there's no excuse in this thing. We don't have a building. We don't know what to do. Hey, man, you better go to somebody's basement, man, and hook it up and turn it to a makeshift congregation. You understand? And then put the thing up there and get the lights and have the food ready. There's no excuse in this thing.
That's right.
You know?
God. So like our first Sabbath service when Priest Kahan came, we did it at my house. Right? He said, look, y'all need to do this every weekend. And through the Spirit, we've been doing Sabbath schools at like 3-4 years ago.
God.
Yeah, that was like 4 years ago, man. Almost, no, it was almost, yeah, it was about 4 years ago. And since then, we've been doing it, man. Through the Spirit, the Lord allows us to get a building. But there's no excuse for not being able to hold church, man. That's how congregations start, man. IUIC probably started in a small building, right? One West had a building before that, right? HOI, all the camps, right? Sakari getting buildings. Everybody is growing in this truth through the Spirit, man. Right? And it all started from doing it in the house, doing videos in the house, such of that nature. Let's get that. Colossians 4:15.
Book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 15. Salute the brethren which are in Laodicea and Nymphas and the church which is in his house.
Salute those brothers who are having church in their house, man. That's a lot of work right there. That's heavy, man. That's hard to do. Man, trust me, it's hard to do. Right? You gotta labor 10 times harder because you don't want nobody to like, look, man, you see that sitting over there in the corner? Right? Like you gotta clean extra hard.
Hey, you might bring a brother to your house and he come with a gun strapped on him, huh?
Yeah.
Sitting on your own couch, then he come to camp saying he want to kill you.
So like, or he bring his 2 wives and they beefing outside. You never know how it go, man. You never know how it go.
Or somebody
Right?
sneak in your house and they secretly high, and he's saying you wouldn't even know that I was high, and they watching when you put your wallet at.
Right.
You know?
I'm
You think
high
they
in
looking,
your house and
think
you
they
don't
looking
know.
for the highlighter? They watch when you put your car keys at, man. That secret spot. You know?
Taking secret pictures. You got it, King.
Like roaches can travel, like with you, like they can be in your pocket, they can
Bed bugs.
Wow,
Yeah. Bed bugs. That's true, man.
Wow, that's true.
Right? That's laboring, man. That's laboring.
They labor.
You know, but in all seriousness, though, that's a lot of work right there, man.
Yeah.
Laboring with your hands, it's a vast way to labor, man. So it's no more excuses for Israel to say, I don't know what to do in this truth. There's no more time for excuses, man. There's no more time for the pity party, for that weak member. Man, we all should be growing more and more because your hands should be clean because you should always be laboring, man. Because it's 1,000 eyes on you at all time, man. People watch the channel and don't say nothing. Where I done had people come up like, yo, I done seen you on YouTube. Yo, I watched the videos. You're like, oh, okay. Right? And that probably happens to brothers all the time, sisters all the time. Right? So it's 1,000 eyes on you, man. So you should always be laboring by keeping yourself under subjection, right? Being on your best behavior. So, like, I know you guys precept. Let me get 1 Thessalonians 1 and verse 3.
I got one after Azariah precept.
Book of First
Thessalonians.
Book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Right.
Remembering without ceasing your work of faith and labor of love and patience of hope in our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua in the sight of Yahweh and our Father.
Right. So remember that labor of love that you did, right? That they did. Right.
Knowing, keep on.
Come.
Knowing, brethren, beloved, your election of Yahweh, for our gospel came not unto you in word only, but also in power, and in the Holy Ghost, and in much assurance, as ye know that manner of men we were among you for your sake.
Right. We didn't teach the gospel just unto you by going into the scriptures. Man, we showed you the type of men that we're supposed to be. Right? Women too. Not backbiters, gossipers, fighting all the time. Right? That's the same thing that Paul is saying right there. We teaching you the gospel by showing you how the men of Israel should act. Right? There's one more verse on that.
Okay. Verse 6. And ye became followers of us.
And people going to become followers of the truth by just seeing how you move it, just seeing how you acted, seeing how you conduct yourself, man. You know how many people probably woke up by saying, look at that brother holding posts right there, man. I want to be like that brother, man. He ain't out teaching, he doing what he got to do. Right? He's maintaining his office, right?
And of the Lord, having received the word in much affliction, with joy of the Holy Ghost.
Right, so you received the word with much affliction, and you became partakers in this truth by watching other people's actions and seeing how you want to do it. Right, it's brothers who watch Elder Zabak and they say, I want to go out there and teach like that. They be out there teaching just like him. Right? That's how it all starts, man. You may watch a video, you be like, damn, you on fire. Next thing you know, you out there on fire. Then the next brother watching your video, damn, you on fire. Then the next brother on fire. It's like the matches, man. You like one match, like the next one, the next one, next one, next one. Now the whole bridge on fire, right? You got
Let's go to Hebrews chapter 6. 6 verse 10. Hebrews 6 and 10. Right? Because we gotta labor do this thing, man. We gotta show forth our works, right? We gotta go out and be a prime example to our camp, the nation of Israel, the Most High, Yahushua. Read that, King.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 6 and verse 10. For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love.
Right, so the Most High, he got everything recorded, like I said. Right, he's not unrighteous to get you the kingdom for the works that you've been doing, man. Right, he recording everything down. Right, you receive the reward. Read.
Which ye have shewed toward his name, if that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
You know,
and we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
So we desire that not just us, but everybody that we are laboring, with, teaching, to show forth the same diligence, man. To go out there and everybody study, everybody pray, everybody fast, everybody go out there and teach, man, and be an example to the Most High. Read.
That ye be not slothful.
That be what?
That ye be not slothful.
You be not slothful, man. Don't be that one guy that just don't never learn. Been in this truth for like 4 years and only know Deuteronomy 28, man. Right? Only read Proverbs. Right? Don't be that one guy, that slothful man that don't show his diligence unto this truth. Read.
But followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Right, dude. It said, but followers of them, like Paul, the apostles, they all gave the prime example. Right? Follow after Hamashiach Yahushua, man. That's a prime example that we must follow. Yahushua did the work. Right? He did the work. The disciples did the work. Paul did the work. Right? So they show a fine example of how to do the work. Look at the book of Acts, man. Look how the disciples were going out there. They was getting chastised, thrown in prison, and they went back out there and did the work, right? Nothing stopped them, man. So we got to show forth the same diligence. You right where they came.
Quick precept about the apostles. Let's go to Acts chapter 2 and 41.
Acts 2 and 41.
And another
book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse.
It's like that's a beautiful precept in Hebrews 6 about the Most High not being unrighteous. Because when you work in this society, you may have a damn job. Esau, nobody pays attention to you, man. You're always on time. You always get your work done. And then you just get overlooked. Then you might get fired. You in there busting your ass. You sweating in the damn warehouse, whatever. You do more work than anybody, but it's not recorded. Nobody knows anything about it. Then they just raise up the so-called white man to take your position. So this society is corrupt, man. The Most High is not like that. Any work that you do, you think the Most High forgot about all the hours you spent up studying, praying, laboring, back hurting, feet hurting, sweaty, starving? You understand? The Most High remembers all these things. All the righteous work that women do. You have women that make flyers, women that make food, women that do the decorations for the Most High remembers all of these things, man. I just wanted to make that quick point. Now let's go to Acts 2 and 41.
Book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 41. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls.
About 3,000 souls. We got to get on that level, man. We out there teaching. One brother. I'm an Israelite. And the apostles, 3,000 souls in one day. 3,000, not two, not yesterday. We was we in Houston. It was about one sister, maybe two, and another brother. And we love that, man. Even if it's one brother, we always say when we go out there, hopefully at least one brother believes and repents, right? 3,000, man. They was in the spirit. You understand? The Most High was working with them, and they was out there laboring. And in one day, they converted 3,000 people of the elect and brought them back to Yahweh Yahushua. That's mighty work, man. And we want to go out there. We want to convert it says in the book of Acts, after find a precept, that the entire city came out to hear the word, man. They taught one day let me get that real quick in Acts. I believe that's Acts 17. Right? Let me get that real quick in Acts.
17.
I have to find that. I have to find the precept. Bear with me 1 second. All right, I'll look for it, but until I find it, it tells you that the entire city came out to hear the word of the Most High, because the apostles was out there gaining at least 3,000 souls, 2,000 souls at a time.
Acts 13 and 44.
Count the water, King. Acts 13 and 44. Start at 42.
42.
God.
Book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 42. And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Shabbat.
And we want that too. We want to be out there. They said, come out next Sabbath. Right? We want y'all to come back out and do the work. Go on.
Now, when the congregation was broken up, many of the Jews and religious proselytes followed Paul and Barnabas, who, speaking to them, persuaded them to continue in the grace of Yahweh.
Go on. And it's like they followed them. After camp, they followed them. Imagine we close up camp and everybody's just following us. Where y'all going? Right? Where y'all going? Don't leave. Right? Y'all parked over here. Keep teaching us. Show us the right way. That's the labor that they were doing. Stalking you, man. You pull up to your damn driveway, it's 5 cars right there. Where can we park at? We want more. Right? Go on.
And the next Sabbath day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of Yahweh.
You see that? They were laboring so much. Hey, Houston is, and Baltimore and New York and Philly, these are major cities, man. Imagine the entire city, every Israelite coming to hear the word. All hell would break loose. It was a damn near riot that happened after this, man. People start getting jealous. The pastors, read on, King. It's going to tell you that people start getting envious.
Verse 45. But when the Jews saw the multitudes, they were filled with envy and spake against those things which were spoken by Paul, contradicting and blaspheming.
Because people were leaving the doctrine of the Pharisees. Like now, people would be leaving the church, leaving the mosque. Hey, these guys, they'll be mad, man. And they'll come up and start scoffing so they can get their followers back. So this the labor that the apostles was doing. They was out in the streets. Yeah, people stalking them and following them after they closed up, and the whole city said, we want the word. Then they had, and one day, 3,000 souls. You got it, King.
God, so like, I'll make a point. I don't know. You remember there was a situation. I think it was last year. It was a point where a lot of pastors, they was mad because a lot of people was kind of leaving the church and stuff like that because they was waking up to the truth, man. So that's kind of the situation right here.
We can close off with Revelations 22 and verse 20.
Yeah.
Right? Revelations 22 and verse 20.
Book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 20. He which testifieth these things saith, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so come Hamashiach.
22 and 12. My bad.
12,
22 and 12.
Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be.
So the Lord is coming quickly to reward every man, woman, and child
That's right.
for the labor work that they have done on this earth, man.
That's
Right?
right.
So you got to examine yourself. You got to check yourself every day you wake up. Am I getting myself in order? Are my kids in order? Does my wife know what it means to be a wife? Am I being the right husband? Am I laboring for the nation of Israel? Am I doing what I got to do to wake more people up, man? right? That's what you got to think about every day you wake up, man. Being in this truth is a big responsibility. So you got to hold yourself up to the standard of being in this truth. God. So the brothers got the groundbreaking in Houston. What time y'all brothers starting?
We start camp at 2 p.m. We're going 2 p.m. most out weather than 9 p.m.
2 p.m. man. Right? And what's it called? It's called Midtown.
That was last night. We should be hold on, we're about to get an address right now. Right? Last night it was a mighty camp out in Midtown. Right?
Right. So today's camp location for the groundbreaking is going to be on 500 McKinney Street, Houston, Texas. Right? 77002 a code. Right? Again, 500 McKinney Street, Houston, Texas.
So if you're in Houston, Texas, if you a brother yesterday, he drove 12 hours. As soon as he saw the flyer, he was asleep. He woke up, he saw the flyer, he was sleepwalking, he got in the car, and he started driving. Then he showed up, the brother looked half asleep. I just had to come get the word. And you have women that came, brothers that came from Dallas, from all over, man. San Antonio. So if you in Texas, we know it's a big state. If you in Dallas, San Antonio, you in Houston, you in Austin, right? Wherever you at, you said what? San Antonio. Come out and get this word, man. If you in Baltimore, these brothers, they gonna be at the harbor, man. You in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, PA, go get the word, man. The brothers in Philly, they on what, Tipton Market? Tipton Market today at what time? 1 p.m.
You got the brothers in Cleveland at Tower City Center.
Yep.
You got the brothers in Pittsburgh at 500 Liberty Avenue.
700, right?
700, Shalaki.
700.
You got brothers in Orlando at Okapachi Park. I think it's called. I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah, I believe that. By Lake Eola.
Right, you got, Oleola. Right? You got the brothers in Atlanta. Right? They're going to be, I want to say 300 Peachtree Street.
I believe so.
You got you got like 3 different camps in Detroit, right?
What, Campus Marshes?
Campus Marshes, the Rosa Park Transit.
Grand what? Grand Circuits Park.
Right.
Campus Marshes. Oh, that's what they're gonna be at today.
And then you got the brothers in Cali, right? They said they're gonna be at Antioch today.
Antioch.
And at the Walmart. Right, you got the brothers in Indianapolis.
Yep,
right?
they
camps everywhere, man. Get up and go listen to the word, man. Right, go listen to the word, man. With that, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham. Kwam Yasham.
Shalom.